What's up, guys? This is Andrew, BC Builds here. I know it's been a little bit since I've made a video. Like I said, I've been super busy now between work, daughter, a lot of stuff to review in the works. Also attempting to build a couple machines for another viewer, which are almost done. I am just waiting on a few parts to arrive, which should be here by tomorrow or the next day. Once those are here, they are ready to ship out and they are good to go. That's for you, Frank. Yeah, so hopefully I will ship within a day or two. I decided I'm not going to show you the other two machines. Figure half the fun of getting stuff is, having it a surprise. It's like Christmas. Yep, anyways, on the list of stuff to review, as you guys have seen, and like I said, I got sent a machine, which is a Dv8 irons, which is on the left, and then on the right, which is a handmade machine by Lisa from Kylin in Shenzhen, China. This is not a mass-produced machine. This is truly a 100% handmade machine. When people, a lot of people here will only buy American stuff, but American machines, a lot built here, are more machine made than this frame is. This machine was hand cast, real hand wrapped coils, capped on tape, E-clips, handmade armature bar, the whole 9 yards. It really is, and it's signed and a numbered frame. Also another review that I'm going to put up is, someone was asking about it. I've had for a little bit. It's a Monster Point power supply. It's a Monster Point MP5. It's basically like a knockoff Hurricane. I needed another backup. I have this here. I have a Critical CX2 at work, and then I have this, which is, a pretty much custom rebuild that I did, which I really like. But I needed one I want to leave here, because this is where I tune and build all my machines, but I needed a backup at the new shop. So, a week or so, or a few weeks ago, I ordered, I was just looking for a cheap one. And I read a few reviews, and it was the Monster Point, which was, I think, maybe like $60 I paid for it. It's around the same price as a Hurricane. Just gave me more color options, and I got the blue one. And it's basically the same thing as a Hurricane. Anyways, I will be making a review on that tomorrow. But tonight, I just wanted to show you guys. I just loaded 2 other videos, just basically unboxing reviews, and I have tattooed with both of these, and both of them are actually excellent liners. They kind of serve different purposes. First, I'm going to show you the Dv8 irons. I'm not sure what it's called. This it's a fully cast iron frame, brass binding posts. Like I said in the last video, there was issues with the tube vise lining up. I fixed that and fixed the contact screw as much as I could without replacing it. So what I wasn't happy with, I was able to fix relatively quickly. I also added a phono jack connection onto this because I just hate clip cords. I haven't done it to the other one yet. Anyways, another issue I've had with this machine is it kind of sounds funny no matter how I tune it, but I used this machine and I was extremely impressed with this machine. Not even because it was sent to me to review. Like I said, it has its flaws, and I had some shit that, I really didn't like about it, and I'm not too happy about it. It's, kind of heavy. Well, it's not. It's a lot heavier than my rotaries. But I'm going to run this. This is loaded with, I think, a 7-round metal tube. With the metal tube on it, it makes it sound out of tune. I'm not sure why. When it has the, disposable tube, it sounds fine. But anyways, loaded with the 7 at 8.1, it runs at 118 cycles per second and 58% duty. And this is an awesome machine. I did had to tune it, and there's a few things I had to change about it, but as it sits, it was all pretty easy. If you have any tuning and building knowledge, it would be pretty easy. Anyways, this, I gotta say, is one of the smoothest liners I've ever used, bar none. I use this on a few tattoos. Usually I'm a coil lining guy, but just because of machines like this, the few new ones I've been getting back into coil machines. The only other coil liner I used was my Luos, even though I have a bunch in my workhorse. But now I've been using this all week, and I gotta say this is one of my top 10 best liners. It didn't come like that. I had to tune it, and it's not like there's anything super special about this machine. It's just the way it's tuned and the way everything runs. This laid that ink in. It just laid in perfectly smooth. There was zero trauma to the skin. It also, a lot of it is my hand speed and my technique. But for a machine like this, it just ran beautifully, and you can definitely tell this thing's built to last. It's a workhorse. So now that it's tuned up, I'm going to give this, 7.5 out of 10. I would give it an 8, but I had to fix some issues. Unloaded, it runs, I think it was 6.5 volts. It runs 139 hertz cycles per second. This is 8.1 to 8.2 volts, 115 to 120 hertz, 58 to 62 duty. A nice firm hit, but still soft. And this next machine here, which I will show you, which came tuned exactly like this out of the box. I changed pretty much nothing on this except for the tube vise screw. It was a smaller wing nut, which just hurt my fingers, so I just put a bigger one on. No difference. Anyways, this is exactly how it came out of the package. This thing, it runs a little slower than my other liners. It's still not slow, but this is more of a power liner. It doesn't have a cutout armature bar, so it's heavy, so this thing hits pretty hard. You could really just lower the voltage and even run, this is a very versatile machine. This could run anything from a 3 to a tight 11 easy, or a tight 13. It's at 8.1 volts loaded with the 7 and the 7 diamond tube and a lot of tension. This one runs a little slower. This is 65 duty, or nope, 70% duty, which is a little higher than I normally use, but it lines perfectly, so I'm not going to change it. And it runs anywhere from 110 to 118 hertz, depending on how deep it is in the skin and vibrations that you're sucking up in your hand, depending on how you hold it. But this is truly a quality handmade machine. Just let you guys see it. I don't know if you guys watched the last video, but all of Kylin machines are dated, signed, and numbered. This is 2014 Kylin 998. Thank you very much, Lisa, for this machine. I am highly impressed. The specs on it are, it's a cast brass one-piece frame. That was cut down and polished correctly. It was ground down on the side, so it's smooth here and where the coils sit, so everything sits even, and on the spring deck and partially in the inside. The outside was polished, the underside wasn't. It was left black, so when she put her signature in there, it was nicer. And on the inside, still black. Solid brass binding posts. I know, solid brass. Pure copper contact screw, 20 gauge springs front and back. This one does have an O-ring in it underneath. A heavier armature bar than I would normally use. Not super heavy. I am probably going to mill it out to make it hit a little less hard and a little faster, just because I have not a higher fast speed or higher hand speed, but a little faster than this. And I also use this on about 4 tattoos, and I'm contemplating not even touching it, not even shaving down the armature bar. That would be the only thing I would do, is make it a little lighter so it runs a little faster. But this machine really is meant, it's still a fast machine, don't get me wrong. Just for me, it's a little slow. Everything I do, I draw, signature, everything wise, I like to do fast. It's just how I am. But this is a really awesome single pass liner. I had to do some big bold lines and some waves, and I was pushing a tight 13, and I did it with no problems at I think 7.9 volts, and I was going pretty fast. And these coils are hand wrapped. They're not bobbins. It's a T-top on the top. It's got an E-clip on the bottom. I asked her how they were made, and you can see the E-clip, so it is definitely not a bobbin. 3/8 core, which is a thicker core. Gigantic T-tops, bigger than my Ringmasters. 22 gauge. It's either 22 or 24 gauge magnetic wire. It's just plain colored, but it is real magnetic wire. It's got a, I forget, I'm not sure. I think it has a 22 UF capacitor. Any bigger, this thing would just be way too powerful. Matching hardware on it. Everything, like I said, I didn't do anything to this. I changed this wing nut here. I didn't even adjust the contact screw. Nice little cutback walker. So anyways, both of these machines I'm highly impressed with. This one, like I said, I'm going to give a 7.5 just because I had to fix the tube vise. All it was there's a little extra metal that they forgot to drill out, which causing it to sit the tube sideways, but it took 30 seconds to mill it out. And also the contact screws is drilled crooked, which it doesn't affect the performance. This thing still runs beautiful. I'm just a perfectionist. I got to rate the machine, and there was a flaw on it. Also, that it scratched easily. I'm an idiot. I scratched it, but it scratches easily. It needs a little more polish or, like a varnish on it or something. No other problems with this, and it doesn't have T-tops. I love T-tops. If I had the option to have T-tops in all my coils, but that's besides it. There is no other problems with this machine. Just because I had to fix a few things, not even had to tune it, because I expect to tune everything, even $500 machines. I'm just picky. But actually having to break out a Dremel, that's why it gets a lower rating. This here, like I said in the first video, it was an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Given if she knew how I wanted it to run a little faster and a little lighter, I'm pretty sure she would have tuned it like that. But just a generic tune, it's got an awesome tune on it, which works well. I've used it. My only downfall with this, it's a heavier machine. This is just under 9 ounces. I have one other machine that's heavier than this, which is, I can't even get it down. My Monster Color Packer is the only machine that's heavier than this one. But even still being heavy, this is a really well-balanced frame. I thought I was going to have a lot of problems because I usually line with rotaries, or my Luo's machine, which is only like 7 ounces. But anyways, or my workhorse, the Micro Zeus, which is like 6.5. But this is just really, really, really well-balanced, and it eats all the vibrations. I'm not sure why I zoomed in, but I'll try to zoom out. I'll flip them over so you guys can get a better view. So like I said, a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10, and a 9 out of 10 with this one. My only issue with this one, the way it sits, is it's heavy. She didn't know to tune it faster, so I can't hold that against her. I didn't say anything, but, this is what most people line at. This is the most common speed. Sorry about the camera going in and out. Anyways, guys, I did make videos of me tattooing with both of them and with my new lining ink, but I kind of had a problem with my computer. I don't know if you guys have heard it before. My computer is liquid cooled, and the water pump on it failed, so my computer just overheats within 10-15 minutes because it's overclocked. So I did order a new water pump for it. It should be here within the next week, and then the final reviews on everything. I'm going to do separate reviews on both of them, or separate videos. You can see me tattooing, and then another small video on the ink. But I'm doing a big review on all 3 of them together. I started doing commentary on the tattoos. During the tattoos, the 2 tattoos I filmed, I used, which is Southeast Tattoo Supply lining ink, and then I used it with this machine on one tattoo. I used this ink and this machine on another tattoo, and they both came out wonderful. This isn't the review for this yet. I'm going to make another quick video on this, and then a real big one. Anyways, I gotta say, this is definitely my top 5 favorite inks ever. Probably one of my favorite lining inks. This is a relatively unknown company, but I talked to the owner-operator, Jeffrey Nebb. This is basically all the products in this are vegan based, so it's really good for the skin. There's no horrible chemicals in it. This shit just lays in the skin perfectly. It lays in awesomely. There's very little trauma, less trauma than I would have with most of my other inks, and I know it's other inks because I use the same machine, same needle, same voltage. I used this ink with 4 different machines so far just to test to make sure it was actually the ink. Anyways, I've used this ink. I've lined. These are 2 very familiar machines to me. I've used this. This has got like 2,000 fucking hours of line work on it. And then this has probably got about the same. I've had both of these for a while, and I used the shit out of both of these liners. So I used it with 2 really familiar machines, then I used it with 2 unfamiliar new machines. And I gotta say, no matter what machine I used, this ink went in beautifully. It's healing beautifully. Doesn't matter what kind of skin type I was on. I did not have to fight it in the skin. This has got super strong pigments in it. You get this shit on your hand, it does not want to come off. This is one of the blackest, darkest lining inks I've ever used. Thank you again, Jeffrey. I contacted you today, emailed you. I want to see if you guys sell bigger bottles of this. I'm going to order, as much of this as I can afford, basically. This is going to be my primary lining ink from now on. I'm still going to use my other brands, but, for 90% of the stuff I do, I'm going to use this. And like I said, I'm not giving these good reviews because they were sent to me. This is a quality product. I'm always looking to help the little guy. If there's any problems with this, I would let you guys know. And I haven't come across any yet, given I've only had it for about 2 weeks and the tattoos haven't had time to fully heal yet. But they've been healing. It's seemingly the same healing time as everything else, but a little less scabbing on the line work. But like I said, this ink, I got to give it a 10 out of 10. Easily. I've had no problems with this. It just seems like, at least for me, this is the perfect consistency, the thickness. I love the dark black. It just it gives it like a graphic feel. Those lines are just so deep and so rich. You open it up, it doesn't have that horrible chemically smell. It's not watery, it's not running. Like I said, it's all vegan based. It was made and bottled in the US. Like I said, awesome product. This is a 1 ounce bottle, and I think it's $16.99 at Southeast Tattoo Supply. Smyrna, Georgia. The number is 404-532-9919. You can also follow them on Instagram and Twitter. And I also found out today you can order this off of Amazon. Usually 1 ounce bottle for $16, $17 is a little expensive. This is well worth it. If this was $40 a bottle, I would buy this, guys. This is definitely one of the best lining inks I've ever come across, and I've used every major brand and almost every little brand. Anybody who knows me, I spend money needlessly on new products, anything to improve my artwork and make my life a little easier. And I'm really glad that Jeff contacted me on through YouTube, just because this is going to be my primary lining ink, and I have no complaints about this. And just to prove it, you're not really able to see it because I've been splashing it down. I got this 2 weeks ago, and I only have up to where my thumb is left. There's only a tiny bit left. I've used the fuck out of this. So Jeff, if you're seeing this, I'm going to order more, and I would love to try some new colors. But once my computer's back up and running, I'm going to do the full review on this. This shit is just awesome. They're going to make another small one right now for the meantime. Anyways, that's it, guys. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and 7.5. And then tomorrow I'm going to show you guys the Monster Point power supply, because I got a few questions about that, running rotaries and, the quality-wise of it, which is, I've had no problems with it since, but I haven't had it that long. That's it, guys. A few other reviews and a few products have been sent to me. And I'll fill you guys in on another video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out.